Hi there. In this tutorial, we will talk about images in React application. We will see how can we handle various type of images. Let's see when we create our React application, we has a image called logo.svg in our source folder, and we have public folder, and inside that folder we have some images and files. So what is the difference between the public folder and the source folder to put the image? Let's see in action. For that, at first, how many way we can import our images. If our image has available in my public folder, then we can consume our image like so. I have to give the image name, for example, logo.svg, and I have to put another attribute called alt so that our warning to disappear. So if I save my file, I can see my image appears in my DOM. This is a vector image, and this is a PNG format image. It is a raster image. We will talk about vector and raster image in a little bit later. Let's see how can we consume PNG or vector image. Actually, this is the same. Just as have to enter the file name. It is the 192 then PNG. If I save my file, I can see this time it loads the PNG file. Now let's see how can we consume our logo.svg from our source folder. To consume logo.svg from the source folder, we at first have to import our image here. Import logo from logo.svg. Now I have to put the logo. If I save my file, I can see my image appearing in my DOM. So what is the difference between a public folder and a source folder? Before that, let's see we discuss about image vector and raster image. Generally, images are two types. One is a raster image, another is vector image. Raster images are those images that captured by a camera, and raster images are pixel based image. That means if we try to modify our image in our raster image editing tool like Photoshop, GIMP, then when we try to increase or resize our image, our image will lose its quality. But vector image is based on mathematical formula. So vector image do not lose its quality when we try to resize its image then. But beside that, vector image has other facilities over raster image. For example, vector image is do not lose its quality. Vector image is lot more smaller than the raster image. Vector image can be modified programmatically. That means in our React application we can change our image color, in border means the stroke. So all kind of thing can be possible with SVG, that means vector image. And vector image is also known as a man-made image. Vector image can be handled or edited by a vector editing tool like vector image editing tool like Illustrator, Inkscape, etc. So we know that we have two types of image. When we try to consume our image as a raster image, we cannot change or modify our image. But if we try to consume our image as a vector image, then we can change our image. For example, until now we saw two ways to consume our image from a public folder or a source folder. But this when we follow this format is a raster image format. That means though it is a vector image, but we try to consume image as a raster format or raster image. To consume vector image in a vector format, React has another method. For that, I have to create import ReactComponent from our image logo.svg. I can change this name. For example, ReactComponent as logo. Now let's comment out this line, and when we need this image, this time we have a vector image, so we have to call this one logo, actually capital L. If I save my file, I can see still this image appears, but the beauty or the facility of vector image that we can change the image size, image, let's example style, image size with 100 pixel, height 100 pixel. This is same as a raster image, but let's see how can we change the color for our image. For example, for that we have to use the fill command. Fill, let's say color is red. If I save my file, I can see it does not show the color. The reason is that if I click my vector image, if I go to this line, I can see my fill color. That means my group has a fill color. That means my group override my fill color here. So instead of fill color here, let's move this line to parent or here. If I save my file, I can see what is the it is not a difference here. Now if I save my file, my image appearing here as original, but if I go to my, I can see that the fill color applies this time. So if I comment out this line, it will get the original color, but now I can override the fill color. So this way we can not only modify the fill color, that means the background color, we can change everything. We can create another shape on this color. So this is not a tutorial about SVG image. Actually this image is SVG image. If I go to my inspection, move, let's go to the here, we can see our image is created by SVG. That means it is a vector image. When we import our SVG image or vector image, in this syntax, this image imported as a vector image. That means the SVG image. But if we try to image same image in this format, let's see what happens. This image will be attached as a raster image. Let's check out. For that, this one my image. So we can see that our image is a raster image, but this image is a vector image. We can customize. We can fill color, stock color, or everything. We vector SVG image format. So now we understand that what is the difference between a SVG for image and a raster image. If we import image in this format, though it is a vector image, but it will be used as a raster image. So now you get the idea that what is a vector image and what is a raster image. Now when we put our image inside our public folder, then it doesn't matter what type of image. We have to import our image like this way, then the image name logo.svg. So this when we use this format, it always consume our image as a raster image. But when we need our image to add our image in our project to use that image as a vector image, then we have to put our image in our source folder instead of a public folder. So let's see another two thing. When we try to consume our image, we have two ways. One is a local image and another way is a external or network image. Local image is those that we put in our project directory, and external images are those that we consume from our internet. We will talk about how can we download image, we can preview image, we can show the image download progress bar in our next tutorial. But for now, we focus on a SVG or a vector image first, because vector image has an important role in our application. So let's remove this line. Now we can see that we can customize our raster image. So how can we use any image for our application in our how can we modify our self vector image? Actually we can download some vector image from our internet, but let's see how can we create one from ourselves. For example, for that we already discussed that to create a vector image we need a vector image editing tool like Inkscape or Illustrator. So I will use Inkscape. Now let's create a logo for ourselves. For example, I am creating a simple logo. Actually, no fill color. Fill color is a black, and border color is black, and fill color is gray. Now create a star inside that image. Actually, no need that, just for this image, remove that image. Now if we try to image this image, we can see that if I remove my width and height from my project, I can see this image has a specific width and height attached by default. So if I go to my logo.svg, I can see actually this image size appears here by default. Let's see how can we create set our image width and height. For example, for that I have to create our image. I have to go to my property. By default my image width and height, that means my canvas width and height is HD. So instead of HD I have let's see 250 and 250. Close this line. Now this is my canvas, so I have to put this image in my canvas. Let's put our image in the center. Now I have to import this image. If I try to use this format like let's say save, and if I save my file in my desktop, or let's say directly put in my project application source, inside source, let's star name. If I save my file, now I have star image. Now if I try to import this image, let's see, it will do not throw an error. Actually it will throw an error. Let's check out. If I try to import this image in my project React application, let's see, this time it will be a star. If I save my file, it will immediately throw an error. If we create any vector image and try to image that image in your project, you will face this kind of image, this kind of error. It is called namespace error. So actually, let's say when we try to use any vector image, we have this namespace error. That means we have this type of syntax. Like for example, if we have this type of syntax, the error appears because our JSX do not understand or do not support the namespace tag. So we have to convert this namespace into something like this way. That means we have to remove the colon and capital the X this way. That means the camel case format. If property name is stock-width, then we have to use the stock width, this format. So this is the reason that our vector image throw error. So let's see how can we fix this image. We have two ways. The one method is we can modify every property that throw an error, like this one. So this is one solution. And another thing, when we export our image, we will export in such a way so that our web application support this image. I am in Inkscape application, so for that, instead of directly save as Inkscape format, I have to save my format as a optimized HBG format. That means in this format my image will be supported or for the browser. So let's create same image on a same directory and overwrite this one. If I try to save my file, it asks okay. I remove all the extra tag or metadata from my image. If I click, this image already available, so replace the original one. Now if I go to my page, if I click this button, I can see my image is lot more simpler. That means I do not have this kind of thing anymore. So I have my image. So if I try to import my image in my project, now we can see the error already gone. If I refresh my page, my error is gone. My image appears in my DOM. So this is how can we create custom image. Let's see how can we change its width and height. I can see it width and height. Let's see, change the color, yellow. I can see I can face the same issue. That means our color not appears. The reason is that my color inside my ground group tag. That means inside I have to put my color in this format because we will modify this value. So and it is a child or nested property. We know when we apply CSS, then our inline property override our global or block level property. So we have to move our stock color, that means my border. So let's put this 2. Actually let's put this 3 because I apply a border width. So move this 3 property. What is the problem? Move this 3 property from a nested element to our parent level. Add a space. Now if I save my file, I go to my now I can see my yellow color applied already in my SVG file. I can add a border color or border. Let's see, border is the stock. So STROKE stock is 20 pixel. Stroke. Actually it's STROKE, stock color. Actually this is the problem is that I do not apply a comma in my font. So if I save my file, I can see my stock. Let's see. Stock, actually stock is color. Stock with 20. Now I can, actually it is too much, so let's 5. Now my stock color is 5 pixel width, and let's change the color width. That means stock color property is only stock. Now this time I will put a color like red. If I save my file, I can see I can change every bit on my SVG file. So hopefully it will cover all the confusion about raster image, vector image, and how can we consume our vector image and modify our vector image according to our need. In our next tutorial, we will show that how can we consume network image and how can we download image and show the progress bar and save the file in our local storage and show or preview our image in our DOM. So let's see in our next tutorial.